atmosphere. Just before you came, it was quite okay, but nowadays almost every other person is getting affected. We don't know when our turn will come. Okay, anyway, so let me start. We were discussing the dynamic programming. Basically, dynamic program is very uh, uh, is very effective when you are taking when you are solving optimization problems involving multi-stage. Okay, so and I have just discussed how basically while solving dynamic programming problems, we divide the entire process into different stages, and for at each stage we take a decision. Only thing is all these stages are not independent. Okay, so there is a relationship from one stage to the other. So this is what we call it as the recursive relationship between the stages. So once we take an optimal decision at each stage, and by maintaining this connectivity between these stages, one arrives at the uh, optimal solution. Okay, so let us take few examples, because whatever I have told you in the last class is quite abstract, because unless we take some real problem and solve it. Okay, basically all the dynamic programming problems actually they work on what we call it as the Bellman's principle of optimality. What this Bellman's principle of optimality says is that, okay, you can write down. An optimal policy has the property, it says that an optimal policy, I will explain. Just optimal policy has the property that whatever the initial state and initial decisions are, that whatever the initial state and initial decisions are, initial state and initial decisions are the optimal policy, the remaining decisions must constitute an optimal policy with respect to the state resulting from the initial decision. With respect to the state resulting from the initial decision. Does anybody understand this? Basically whatever see, if the basic principle here is that, okay, that so whatever the basic principle here is that, okay, if you are dividing your decision into a multi-stage problem, if you take a decision at each step, okay, optimally, okay, and if you satisfy the recursive relationship, Okay, so then automatically you will be arriving at the what is that, the optimal uh, policy. Okay, so basically this looks abstract, but when we take a problem, so I will explain you what really this Bellman's principle of optimality. So let us now take a simple problem. Okay, so resource allocation problem, let us take it. Okay, I think we lost it. So the first problem which we develop a water allocation or resource allocation problem. Let us say I have certain amount of resources available with me, Q, okay, uh, and I want to give it to n users. Okay, I have to distribute this resource to n user in such a way that, okay, whatever because of this distribution the benefits are maximized. Okay, so now let us take a simple example and see how we can do this. Let us say I have a 6 units of water is available to me. Okay, and there are 3 users competing to get their share, so that means there are users are 3. Okay, so this 6 units has to be distributed among these 3 users. Okay, in such a way that by giving certain amount to each of these individual users, the benefits are maximized. Okay, and we will be allocating in terms of discrete units, not that I will give 1.5 later, so in discrete units of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or 6 or maybe 0. I may not allocate also. Okay, so the returns which we get, okay, so is like this. Let us say the amount of water allocated, the amount of water allocated. If I allocate it to user 1, user 2, user 3. Okay, if I allocate nothing, okay, that means I don't allocate the returns. Okay, or r1 of x, r2 of r1, r2, r3 are the returns. Okay, so if I don't allocate, I don't get any benefit. Okay, so if I allocate 1 unit, okay, I get a benefit. If I allocate 1 unit to user 1, I get a profit of 5, benefit of 5. Second user it is 5. The third user is 7. Okay, so now if I have, similarly you have this table. If I allocate 3, 4, 5, 6, okay, so we have this table. Okay, 8, 6, 12, 9, 3, 15, 8 minus 4 minus 16, 5 minus 15, 15, 0 minus 30 and 12. Okay, this is that. That means by allocating, if you see here, you also have negative values. What does it mean? Hello? That means you may get loss also. See, by allocating some value, see, this is basically giving excess is also sometimes results in loss. Can you give an example of having giving more where you can have a loss? Instead of benefit, you may be losing. Can anybody give an example where you encounter such situations? Especially if you are giving water to a crop, okay? So especially if the water table, groundwater table is very high, okay? Let us say I have a canal here, okay, and I am giving water to the nearby fields, okay? Suppose if this is my groundwater, okay, this is my groundwater table and this is my ground surface. We know that when we go crops, okay, so the crops will be, I will exaggerate this, okay, this is my ground surface and my water table is here, okay, and we know that when we grow crops, okay, so these roots usually of the major crops, all that they go up to 1 to 1.5 meters, maximum is 1.2 to 1.5 meters, okay. So this zone, what we call it as the root zone, okay, if by giving excessive water, if this groundwater table, the groundwater table is comes up to here into the root zone, what will happen to the roots?
Get submerged.
They get because all the roots, they need air for their breathing purposes, okay. So when this water table comes up to here in the root zone, okay, so they don't get sufficient oxygen to transpire, okay, perspiration, so they start dying actually. So that's why when the root starts decaying, so the crop yield may not be very good, okay. So this phenomena is called, what is called water logging. So if you are giving more water, there is a possibility of that, okay, this water table is coming into the root zone, okay. Actually this is the major problem nowadays faced by these Punjab farmers, especially the farmers whose fields are very near to this big canals, Bakranangal canals and the main canal and the distributaries. Whoever is the farmer who is having fields very near to this, okay, they are facing these problems. The main problem is, if I have to get bring this water table, if it has come to reach the root zone, and if I have to bring it down, I need to pump it, okay. This pumping will be very costly, okay. So even though the Punjab because of Bakranangal dam construction, they had a very prosperous agriculture for the past 50-60 years, but nowadays the over what is that agriculture, and these are now the side effects are being now felt, okay. Especially many of the fields are waterlogged, and also not only that, another associated problem with this is that, let us say if I am putting pesticides here, okay, and they travel through this and they contaminate the groundwater. If somebody is using this groundwater for drinking water purposes, they are having lot of health issues, especially the Punjab is now the most the cancer occurrence is almost the maximum in India is from Punjab, okay. They are having a lot of problems, okay. So now the government is trying to do a lot of uh, strategies to how we can reduce these pesticide concentrations in the um, these zones, okay, where the situation is very alarming, okay. So this is what, so here basically this -4 -5, this is because the benefits that you have a negative effect, okay. So that's what I wanted to tell you here. It is, don't think that I give more, I always get more benefit, okay. So that is not the case, okay. So now the question here is, how do I allocate this? The total amount is Q is equals to 6. How do I allocate these 6 units among these 3 users, okay, in such a way that my benefits are maximized? Okay, so this you can solve by dynamic programming. Okay, so what we do here is, okay, so we just divide this into 3 distinct units, 3 distinct stages. Let us say the user 1, user 2, and user 3. Okay, I have Q which is equals to 6. Okay, so from this 6 I allocate something to x1, so I get a benefit of this. Then the remaining will be 6 minus x1. This is the state transformation equation. So this is equals to x2. This is basically this is the water. This is, let me call this as s1. Okay, which is equals to 6.1. So the amount which will be available at the second stage for the second and third user, I call it as s2. That will be 6 minus x1. Okay, so and I allocate some x2 here. Okay, so I get a benefit r2 of x2 here. Okay, and I will have s3 which is equals to 6 minus x1 minus x2. Okay, so I allocate x3 here. Okay, and I get a benefit of r3 of x3. The problem is that how do I allocate, how do I come out with the optimal values of x1 and x2 and x3 such that r1 of x1 plus r1 of r2 of x2 plus r3 of x3 is maximum. Okay, so this is the actually the problem. Okay, what we do is now we solve it stage by stage. Okay, so now let us take this s3. Okay, we start from here. Okay, so let me call this as s3. That means s3 is the, let me call s3 is the water available for user 3. What are the possible values which s3 can take? Hello? What are the possible values which s3 can take? S3 is the water available for user 3. What are the possible values of S3?
0 to 6.
Huh?
0 to 6.
How much? Please speak loudly.
0 to 6.
0 to 6. That means I can have 0. That means if I allocate all the 6 units to both user 1 and user 2, so user 3 may not get anything. Okay. So, or if I allocate 5, I can have 1. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If I don't allocate anything to user 1 and user 2, okay, so user 3 can all the 6 values. So now let us write the optimal policy for this. That means, let me, so my state variable here is s3. Okay, s3 is the water available for user 3. So we write s3. Okay, and the amount which I allocate, okay, is x3. Okay, and I have r3 of x3, and let me write F3 of S3. I will tell you what is this, is equals to maximum of R3 of X3. Okay, and I will have X3 dash. Okay, this is my table. Okay, so if I have S3 is equals to 0, that means the amount of water available for submission for allocation to X3 is 0. So the possible value of X3 is how much? 0, because I do not have anything, so I cannot allocate. So the benefit is 0, 0, 0. Okay. So now let us say I have 1 unit available for allocating to user 3. What are the possible releases I can have? What are the possible values of X3 I can have now?
0 and 1.
0 and 1. Exactly. I can have 0. That means I have an option not to give to anything to X3, or I have an option to give 1 unit to S3. Okay. So if I give 1 unit, if I give 0 unit, so then 0, 0. Okay. And if I give 1 unit to X3, what is the benefit I get?
7.
7. Okay. So I get a benefit of 3. So what should I do if I have 1 unit? R3 R3 of F3, sorry, this is F3 of S3. Okay. So I should allocate 7 to this, isn't it? So my X3 star will be 1. Is it correct? Is it clear? That means if you have 1 unit available for user 3, I'll give that 1 unit so that you get a benefit of 7. Suppose if I have 2 units available for to be given to user 3, what are the possible values of X3 I can have now? Hello?
0, 1 and 2.
0, 1 and 2, isn't it? I may not give 0, I may not give any water, or I can release 1, or I can give 2. Okay, so if I don't give anything, it is 0. If I give 7, if I give 2, I get a benefit of 2. So this actually, this should be only 7. This should be 7. Okay, so what should I do to get an optimal policy here? I release 2 units so that I get a benefit of 12. So it is 2. Is it clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, then now let us go to here, because where am I not able to get it? So now let us go to, if I have 3 units, what will happen? I can have 0, 1, 2, 3. If I get 0, it is 7, 12, or 15. So you have 15. This is actually so 15. So you release 3. Okay. So similarly, if I have 4, I have an option to, these 4 options are possible. I'm just if you see, please note it down. 15 and 0, 7, 12, 15 and 16. So you get 60. Okay, so you have 4. Okay, I have 5. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 0, 7, 12, 15, 16, 15. Okay, so I have 16. So here you can see here, if I have 5 units, okay, I can, the optimal policy will have, I will get maximum benefit only by releasing 4, not 5. Okay, so we have this. Now finally, when I have 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we get 0, 7, 12, 15, 16, 15 again, and 12. Okay, so here again I will get 60 and this is 4. Okay, so this is how we just make the table for this completes the first stage. Okay, come to the second stage. Okay, so the second stage is that the amount of water which is available for both user 2 and user 3 is, I call it as S2. Okay, S2 is basically the water available for both user 2 and user 3. What are the possible values S2 can take?
0 to 6.
0 to 6. That means if I allocate all the 6 units to user 1, so user 2 and user 3 may not get anything, so you can have 0. Okay, similarly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, okay, and 6. So now let us make the table for S3, sorry, S2. So S2. Okay, and X2 is the release in the second stage. Okay, and F2, sorry, R2 of X2. Then we will have S2 minus X2. What will be S2 minus X2?
X3.
It will be S3, not X3. It will be S3. S3. I have
Yes.
S2 available for both X2 and X3. Okay, so if I allocate X2 to the second user, the water available for S3 will be S2 minus X2, which is equals to S3. Okay, then I have R2 of X2, okay, plus F3 star of S3. This is, sorry, this is basically F3 star. Actually, this should be F3 star of X. Okay, star, the maximum. Okay, I'm using star for the maximum. So that will be F3 star of, okay, so then we will get, what is that? F2 star of S2 is equal to maximum of this, maximum of R2 of X2 plus F3 star of S3. Okay, and we will have X2 star. So if S2 is 0, what are the possible values of X2 we can have? 0. I don't have anything, so I cannot. So this will be 0. This will also be 0. Okay. So you get 0, 0, 0. Okay. This is the first one. Now, let us say if I have 1. Okay. What are the possible X2 values we can have now? I don't release anything to X2, that is 0. Okay. Or I may release 1 unit. Okay. So if I do this, if I don't release, so R2 of X2 is 0. Okay. Then what will happen to S3? Hello? I have 1 unit available for both user 2 and 3, but I am not giving anything to user 2. Okay. So how much will be available for user 3?
1.
0 and 1.
0.
0 for the X2 and 1 for this thing. Okay. And if I have 1 unit, okay, so my R2 of X2 is 0 plus, if I have 1 unit, you go to the previous table. Okay. If my S3 is 1, what should I do to maximize the benefit? I should release 1 unit, isn't it? I should allocate 1 unit, not release. I should allocate 1 unit to S3. So what can we do is 0 plus F3 of 7 is 7. So this is 7. Okay. If I release 1 unit to, if I allocate 1 unit to X2, how much benefit I get? 5. If you see the table, actually it is 5 units I get. Okay. And S3 will be 0. Okay. So this will be 5 plus 0. This is equals to 7. Sorry, 5 plus is equals to 5. Okay. So what should I do? If I have 2 units available for user 2 and user 3, what should I do? To whom I should give? Sorry, if I have 1 unit available to allocate to both X2 and X3, okay, what should I do to maximize the benefit?
Give it to
You give it to
X3.
X3, so that you get a benefit of 7 rather than to X2. So the maximum of this is 7. Okay. So what is X2 star here? Corresponding to 7.
0.
0. 0. Is it clear? It's basically it is a way of bookkeeping. Okay. So nothing really much to really think about. Okay. You have to keep. So let us say if I have 2 units, what are the possible allocations I can do it to X2? I may not
1.
give anything, or I may give 1, or I may give 2, isn't it? If I give 0, there is no benefit, 0. So what will be X3 now? S3. I have 2 units. I am not giving it to anything to X2. So how much will be available for X3, which is
2.
S3?
2.
2 units. Okay. If I give 2 units to him, okay, what is the maximum benefit I have to get? You go to the previous table. Okay. So that is, you can see that it is 12. Okay. So 0 plus 12, which is 12. Okay. R2 of X2 is 0 plus F3 star of S3. If you go to the previous table and see the, for 2, it is this thing. Okay. Similarly, I go for, if I give 1, I get a benefit of 1. Okay, so the total is I am getting 12. Okay, which is S2 of S3, and actually I should have put one more table here so that it would have become very easy. Okay, so this is 1 plus 5 plus 7, 12. Actually I missed one column here. Actually I have uploaded this book. Okay, in that if you see the tables, okay, it will be clear. Okay, now it becomes cumbersome if I just erase it and do it again. Okay, so then if I give 2, it will be 6, will be 0. Okay, so 0 plus 6, so this is 6. So I have 12. So what are the possible optimal values of x2 star?
0 and 1.
0 and 1.
0 and I have put it wrong actually here. 0, 0, 2. This is 0 and 1, isn't it? This is wrong actually here. 2 fixed. Okay, similarly if I have 3 units, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, no sorry, 3, not 4. Okay, here it is 0. Okay, so I will have now 3. Okay, so this is total. I will be writing total value 15 here. Okay, if I give 1, 3, it will be, if I give 1, it will be 5. Okay, so this will be 2. Okay, total is 17. You can do this. I am just writing. Okay, so 6, 1, 7, 6, 1, 6, 1. Actually, it's not 7, it is 13. Okay, so then 3, 3, 0, 3. So maximum is 17. So the x2 star is 1. Okay, so then let us make it 4 and 5, 4, 5 and 6, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. 0, 5, 6, 3 minus 4, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. I'm putting it as 16, 20, 18, 10 minus 4. So I get 20. So you release 20. This is 1. Okay. So if I have 5, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So 0, 5, 6, 3 minus 4 minus 15. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 16, 21, 21, 15, 3 minus 15. Okay, then 21. You have 1 and 2. The last one is 6, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 0, 4, 0, 5, 6, 3, 3 minus 14 minus 4 minus 15 minus 30. Okay, so you get 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You get 16, 21, 22, 18, 8, minus 8, minus 30. Okay, so 22. Okay, and 2. Okay, this completes the second stage. That means where am I? This is coming here. Satyendra, how do I come to ये दिखता ही नहीं है
क्या करना है?
ये यहाँ आना है मुझे.
कहाँ है?
Okay. So if you see here, so now what we have done is the first table is the first table is for S3. That means the water available for only the user 3. Okay, so then we have got the optimal allocations. Okay, and here then we have done it for the second stage. Okay, S2, where S2 is the water available for allocation for both user 2 and user 3. Okay, the state transformation equation is this. If I have S2 and if I allocate X2 to user 2, so the remaining will go for to the user 3. Okay, now let us come to the last stage, that means S1. Okay, S1 is the water available for all the 3 users. How much?
6.
This is 6.
6.
Here you have 6 units you have available. It is here. Okay, so what are the possible values of X1 I can have? What is the possible values of allocation
0 to 6.
X1? So I may not allocate to X1 at all, but I may allocate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so now let us make this table. This final table is simple. Here we write S1. Okay, S1 is 6, isn't it? And what are the possible values of X1? Hello? I may not allocate, or I may allocate 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then what will be R1 of X1? Then what will we get here? What will be the next column? I have 6
S2.
S1 units and I have allocated X1. I get a benefit of R1 of X1. So how much will be available for user 2 and 3? That will be S2, which is equals to S1 minus X1, isn't it? S1 minus X1. Then I have F1, F2 star of S2, okay, which is equal to S1 minus X1, okay, that we will get. Okay, then R1 of X1 plus F2 star of S2, okay, this we will write. Okay, then F1 star of S1 is maximum of this. This is nothing but F1 of S1. Okay, so this will be that a maximize of this R1 of X1 plus F2 star of X2, then the X1 star. Okay, so if I don't allocate, the is 0, so I will have 6 available. Okay, so then when I have 6, you go to the previous table. So what is the best possible way of giving 6 is 22. So what should we do here? 0, 6, 22, it will come here, F2 star. Okay, so the total is F2 star, then 22. Okay, if I allocate 1, okay, I get 5. Okay, so S3 will be 5. If I allocate 1, sorry, I am writing. If I am allocating 1, the benefit is 5. Okay, and the remaining will be 5 here. Okay, so I get, this is 21, 26. Okay, so I will fill up this 8. Let me write 9. This you do this in your 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Okay, 20, 17, 12, 5, 0, 22, 26, 28, 26, 20, 10, 0. What is the maximum of this? 28. Corresponding to 28, what is x1 value? Hello?
2.
2, x1 star. Okay, so now what is the best optimum way of allocation? Hello? If I have 6 units, so how should I allocate so that I get a maximum of a benefit of 28 units? What should be x1 star?
2.
2.
2. Okay. Okay. If x1 star is 2, okay. So what will be S2 now?
4.
Huh? How much?
4.
6 minus x1 star, which is 4. 6 minus 2 is equals to 4. So now go to the previous table. If S2 is 4, okay, what is the best possible way of allocating it? What should be x2?
1.
1.
1. Okay, so corresponding to F4, S2, it is 1. So I will have x2 star as 1. Okay, if x2 star is 1, what will be S3 now?
3.
S3, because S2 is 4 and I have allocated 1, so I will have 3. So you go again to this S1. So if it is 3, okay, so actually I get 3 itself here. I am allocating it 3. Okay, so finally, what are my, so basically we are tracking backwards. Okay, here what is the uh, Bellman's principle of optimality? What I told is that, okay, when you are fixing this x1 is equals to 2, okay, you will be just seeing only the just previous table. You are not seeing from the first table. First, from the third table you fix this. Okay, so from this you will go to the second table. Okay, and from this you will get to the first table. That means basically you are not at all looking at where I have started. I am just looking only at the previous one. Okay, so that means basically because I am taking the decisions optimally at each stage. Okay, there is no need for me to look what I have taken at the earlier stages. Okay, because at each stage I am taking my optimal decisions, and also there is a recursive relationship between one stage to the other. Okay, this Bellman's principle of optimality says that there is no need for you to look back way from the initial stage. Okay, you just look at the previous, which itself is connected to the previous one, previous to that, and all those things. So finally you end up with this. Is this clear? Hello?
Yes, sir.
So this is what we call it as the backward recursion. That means I started from user 3. You can always do from user 1 also. Okay, but I prefer always backward because it's much easier to explain. Okay, so like this you can solve the water allocation problems, okay, systematically using dynamic program. If dynamic programming was not there, what other method can you think of solving this, coming at the best possible allocations? Let us say I have only that first table.
We have to check the combination for all.
You have to do so many combinations, isn't it? If I give only this, okay, if I have only this, and if you were to use any other technique other than this dynamic programming, okay, what you would have done? How many combinations you would have got? Isn't it? So it would be a very enormous task, but this can be solved systematically using dynamic programming. Okay. So this this actually completes the allocation problems. Okay. So tomorrow I will take reservoir release policies. So how do we release water from reservoir to the competing users so that we get the maximum benefits? Okay. So that I will take in the next class. The philosophy is simple, is that you have to divide your problem into stages, and at each state you have to define what is the state variable, and the state variable changes from stage to stage, and you need to come out with some recursive relationship. So this getting this recursive relationship itself is a it's an art. Okay, not all people can get the idea. When I give the tutorial problems, you will know. Okay, so it's sometimes even for me it becomes difficult. Okay, even now I have one problem which I am not able to solve. I will give it to you. Let us see how many of you can solve. I am not able to solve it so far. Okay, but let us see when I give it in the assignment. Let us see how many of people can think smartly and come out with a solution. Okay, but I have yet to get a solution for that problem. I have been teaching this for quite some time, but that problem is still a mystery for me. How do I solve it? Okay, so we'll just stop here. So tomorrow we'll meet at 5 o'clock. Okay, bye.